Hey, so we are looking at how to subtract polynomials. So the title for our notes are subtracting polynomials, and our essential question, how does subtracting polynomials relate to adding polynomials? So when something relates, we have to think that there's probably some similarities between the two. Like there are definitely some things that are different, but if things are related, then there's something that they have in common. So some important vocabulary that we need to make sure that we're using, just like with addition, coefficients, exponents, terms, like terms. And we're also going to talk about distributing. So we're talking about distributing, and distributing means to multiply everything outside the parentheses by everything inside the parentheses. So keep that in mind. Distribute means multiply. So I want to take a look at this this first example. Okay, so anytime I've got a minus sign like this in front of a parenthesis, a lot of times we think we're going to distribute the negative, but we can't distribute a negative. Remember, distribute means multiply. But what you can do is multiply by a negative 1. So I can distribute a negative 1. And all that's going to happen when I multiply by negative 1 is this positive 7 is going to become negative 7, and positive 10 is going to become negative 10. So negative 7x minus 10, and then I can come over here and bring down this other set of parentheses. And now at this point, I'm just doing the same thing that we did for addition. I'm just adding like terms, combining like terms. So here are two like terms, negative 7x and 9x. So that would make 2x. And then positive 5 and negative 10 would give us negative 5. And that's it. So if we go to this next example, you see that there's a negative sign out in front of the first parenthesis. So even though this looks like addition here in the middle, right here, this is actually, we're going to work on this the same as we would work on a subtraction problem, because we've got this negative sign out here, and we need to first distribute a negative 1. That's a negative 1. It's kind of close in there. So we're going to distribute the negative 1, and I'm going to get negative 4x plus 3, and then bring down 8x plus 2. And now I'm going to combine my like terms. Negative 4 and 8 is 4x, and then positive 3 and positive 2 will be plus 5. And that's it, 4x plus 5. All right, so if we go to example 3, now we've got some brackets and stuff, but these rules still apply. I've got a negative 1 here and a negative 1 here. So which one do I do first? Well, I have a couple of different ways to do this, but I feel like the simplest way that kind of makes sense to everybody is going to be to handle what's inside the brackets first. And so I'm going to do negative 1 times 7 and negative 1 times 3. So that makes minus 7x and minus 3. And then I'm going to bring down the 4x and keep my brackets. I haven't done anything to get rid of those brackets yet. And then I'm going to bring down 8x minus that 1 times, so that negative 1 times the brackets. Now, I'm going to go ahead and change colors here so that we can kind of see the difference. So I'm going to now distribute this negative 1 over here. I know that's kind of getting in the way, but I'm going to bring down 8x. This is going to become minus 4x plus 7x plus 3. And now I can go ahead and combine like terms. All three of these things are like terms. So that would be 11x and then plus 3. All right, and then we have one more example. And this one's kind of a long example. Notice that here there is a minus sign where here there is a plus sign. You will come across problems like that where they're mixed. So pay attention. So now I'm going to do the same thing as when I had a -1, but I'm going to distribute the number also. So I'm actually going to have to, I've got 3 sets of parentheses, all of which are being multiplied by something. We got a +5, a -4, and a +2. So I need to distribute each of those numbers. So I'm going to do 5 times 2x and 5 times -3. So that's going to be 10x minus 15. Now I'm going to go ahead and do -4 times 5x and -4 times 7. So that would be minus 20x minus 28. And then I'm going to do the last one. And I'm going to do 2 times 3x squared and 2 times 5. So 2 times 3x squared is going to be plus 6x squared and then plus 10. So now I want to, combine my like terms. And I see that I've got a positive x squared and there are no other x squared terms. So I'm going to bring down, or 6x squared. So I'm going to bring down 6x squared, and that's going to be my first term. Now, I like to cross things out, especially when you have a lot of terms. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms here. I like to cross things out just to keep track of what I've used and what I haven't, and make sure I don't have anything left over at the end. So now I see a 10x and a -20x, and I don't see any other x terms. So 10 minus 20 is going to be -10x. And so I've used 10 and -20. And so now I have -15, -28, and +10. So -15 and -28 is 43, plus 10 is -33. You can always use your calculator for that too. And that's it. We're just adding, distributing and then adding like terms. So we have to think about where is the subtraction? Remember, subtraction and addition of polynomials is related. How are they related? Where are the differences and where are the similarities? So I have a few examples on a Desmos for you to do on your own. So here are the Desmos codes. Now, there's an error in one of the questions. The question looks kind of like this one right here with the brackets and then the parentheses. And I just couldn't fix it. By the time I got it or figured out that there was an error, I couldn't fix it without messing up everything. So when you go into it, it says, it looks like that other one. So there's something up front with a Z, and then there's like maybe a minus something, and then the bracket, and there's another term with a Z. And then in the parentheses, there's supposed to be another Z right here, whatever that number is, but it's an X instead. And then we close out the parentheses in the bracket. This should be a Z. It is not supposed to have 2 different variables in it. It's all supposed to be the same variable. So when you come across that question, just treat it like they're all the same variable. Okay, so these are some great examples to work on that will give you some practice with subtracting. It will reinforce your skills with addition of polynomials. It will also help